Hey everybody, it's Stormy Iris, and welcome back to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Last time, we did the first of the 3 Trial of the Sword trials, the beginner trials. Struggled quite a bit, but ultimately we made it out on top. This time, we're gonna do things a bit different. We still have 44 shrines left to go. And based on how the beginning trials went, I want to be safe. So, join me in this episode. We are going to be knocking out pretty much near all the rest of the shrines. It sounds wacky, it sounds goofy, but that's what we're going to be doing. Just as a heads up, a lot of the more complex shrine quests, like something along the lines of these island all the way down to here, or something along the lines of, one of the ones near Rito Village, stuff like that, I'm going to be saving, because those are going to be special, and we're going to save those for their own special segment. But for all the rest of these shrines that are just out in the open, or just shrine quests that are easily doable, we're going to be doing those in this episode today. So, join me as we race across Hyrule to wrap out the shrines. Without further ado, let's get started. Hey everyone, Stormy Iris here, or at least post-commentary Stormy Iris here. So, this is going to be an entire sped-up montage of all the shrines that we have left to do. Most of these are going to be done sped up, and some of these are going to be different as to how they're done. Right, so one major obstacle throughout this journey was trying to determine how I wanted to do the shrines, right? Because I didn't want to enforce the idea of, oh, we do this many shrines in between, us getting from this divine beast to the next. Because that would have felt too forced, and that would have taken significantly longer. Like, the series would not be able to go at the pace that it is if I were to decide to do that. So, I did it casually, I let it, simmer and let it burn, on a slow burn, and we just did shrines as we go. Because I knew just how many shrines are in the game, I was gonna want to have at least I want to do a decent amount of shrines every episode. At least we could, except for the Divine Beast episodes, where we were inside a Divine Beast, or doing the Divine Beast quest. Doing a Divine Beast or doing more shrines was not on the idea. So, a lot of footage here, you're gonna see me actually do the shrines. This was one of those moments here that I was just like, should I even do these shrines? Like, I'm just trying to get them complete, but I was like, it is still sort of like a walkthrough guide, walkthrough, playthrough kind of thing. So I was like, yeah, I'll still do them. Some of them I do skip though. This was a very big challenge for me. Just determining, the shrines alone in this game are one of the biggest reasons as to what I was so scared about doing a, Breath of the Wild Let's Play of. And, as far as, for the most part, it's been fine. I'll probably develop a much better strategy going forward, because I do plan at some point to do Master Mode. And I definitely will at some point plan to, do, a better system of how I want to do shrines. This shrine isn't exactly that hard. You are just, lighting up the torches, all the different blue flame torches, and it's just pretty much how it is, straight to the end. Most shrines, outside some, like the actual, the mod's test of strengths, or whatever, the test of strengths, that's what I want to say. I had to come up with at least one of the 3 ones. Those are, for the most part, most of them are skippable. You can skip the test of strength, but you need, shield skew, and the way that specific shrine is really confusing and stuff like that. And, here you're actually seeing me mark down a spot where there is a talus. So, yeah. Some of these I'm marking down. You're actually going to see, a lot of times, even if during the sped up footage, there are just some moments where I'm just like, wait, there's something here? Or wait, that's weird. Where I just stop and look at it, oh, that's super weird, what the heck? But yeah, so a lot of these shrines, at least some of these ones that might take a while, are going to take a while because they are shrine quests. And some shrine quests, unfortunately, are required. And that is something I'm not a big fan of. Some of these ones, like, they can take a while. Like, you have to do a prerequisite to be able to unlock the shrine, which is super annoying because a lot of shrine quests are just there. As long as you know how to do it, you can do it. But some, you actually have to have to set an initiating point. And I actually was, like, kind of spooked by that giant boulder right there. That's why you see me just dart straight off to the right, because I forget that's there. Another big stump that I had during this session, too, and you're going to see it, because it's actually quite a dramatic cut, because I'm trying to take a lot of these shrines area by area. So here I'm trying to do all the Elden ones. I'm not going to do all the Elden ones right now, but for the most part, I'm doing all the Elden ones here. And I'm going to move to doing, the Hebra region and stuff like that. So here I'm just trying to decide. I'm pretty sure this is one of the ones that I marked during the series. I can't exactly remember on the top of my head, but I knew there was like a shrine here. I was like, oh, I'm gonna mark the shrine here, and then I'll come back to it, because I want to be able to get whatever we were doing done. Just again, simple, same thing as like the other one with the blue flame, but this one is with a normal flame. So you really just want to do that. And I was like, oh, that's a really good weapon. So a lot of stuff you're gonna see me here is contemplating like, oh, should I keep this weapon or should I like not? And yeah, that is a quite a predicament that I will foresee throughout the Let's Play. And so going forward, hopefully that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Now, teleporting to this shrine, there is a sort of another one of these shrine quests down where I'm going, or where I want to go, but again, I'm going to get interrupted by a bunch of enemies, and that's going to persist. So if you remember, we took a bunch of pictures of Guardians. And that is what this were. Also, I'm going to collect a couple Koroks. You're going to see me do that. Typically, it's not something I'm going to go out of my way for. But I am going to... Oh, I accidentally clipped my thing on my headphones. So we needed the Propeller, you needed the Scout, and you needed the Walking Guardian. The Stalker Guardians, my bad. So you're going to see me get some Koroks. And that's because I am going to put them towards upgrading some certain things. Simply because, it is getting kind of annoying, and you're going to see more in this footage, that I'm just running out of weapon spaces and stuff. So, I wanted to cover at least for the most part, like, all the different types of Guardians, and I find it kind of, it's just me, I find it funny, like, oh, you need all these pictures of Guardians, and then you have to fight a Guardian as a shrine quest. So, some of these I'm going to forget to, delete the star marker. I might throw out the footage. I don't know if it's actually going to fully come up, though. But over here, we're actually going to see Lorraine Village. We'll come back to this at some point, because there actually is, like, something really cool you can do here, and I want to show it off. But for right now, I am just going to pick up the shrine that is here. So, this part, I don't know if this is the actual way you want to do this shrine. Putting all the chests and stuff on top of all the weights and stuff, and I feel like I'm just doing this wrong. I was originally going to go for the chest, because I was like, oh, it's probably just, like, some, like, goofy reward. It is an opal, it's money, so I'll take it, but it is, like, I feel like I overcomplicated it. So, this one. I couldn't remember, I was like, I feel like there's just another shrine, and there was, and it's marked here. And a lot of this footage, you're going to see me wander around. And that's because I don't exactly remember where every single little part of a shrine quest is. This is a shrine quest. The funny thing too is that this is theorized to be the Mirror of Twilight, despite it being super far away from anything like the Arbiter's grounds, or it's at least like a replica of the what is it, the Mirror of Twilight. And over here it's actually kind of funny. I was just like, this isn't the first time you're gonna see a blood moon within the sped up footage either, and I find that funny. I was like, oh, well, it's a blood moon. Well, isn't that just kind of peachy? So it starts to do its usual blood moon thing. It's like, oh, Link, the much is rising once again. I'm trying to find the last shard, and I was like, where on God's green grass is this last shard? So I'm going all the way over here, checking here, and I was like, where's over here? I was like, oh, enemies, and then there it is. So it's kind of the general location. Show him the last picture, and then he'll tell you the shrine quest. Unfortunately, I believe this is one you have to do, which is annoying, because if I could just, kneel on the platform. I'll have yet to test that. I might just do like my own playthrough and see if that'll work. Just like standing on like the platform. This is just a bonus chest. You don't have to do this one. As you can see, I already got the key. Should have just rode the thing back, but I do want to get the Royal Claymore because it is a good weapon, and I just want to have an extra one. So pretty easy shrine, all around. Again, it's not a very hard shrine. A lot of these are either just weirdly, oddly placed blessings, or they're just really easy shrines. Another one here, five flames. So the funny thing is, too, the best part about this is in my mind, I don't know why, because when I look back on this footage and I was just testing the speed up, I actually just randomly skipped to this part, and I just like, because when I got to this, I was like, oh, it's another apparatus shrine, so I'm just going to wind bomb over it. Looking back on it in the footage, I was like, why did I skip over? It's not an apparatus shrine. It's just a normal shrine. You just had to hit the little buttons. I was like, I guess I'm just not doing this today. And it's even funny too, because I was trying to do it on the little, like, the weird, like, raised decoration thingy that you come from the portal in. And I could just done something like cryo and just have a higher height regardless. A guaranteed higher, I don't know. A lot of my thought processes during a lot of these shrines, it's just really goofy. So we got another shrine quest here. So the idea here is you want to create the entire wind tunnel. Now I do this wrong. There is like a way you want to do this. So the idea, because I thought I did it right there, but you actually had to land within the circle. So I landed on the actual shrine pedestal, but I messed it up. So I did it again. There we go. Pretty easy shrine. Again, a lot of these ones aren't that bad. Because that one, because normally with something like that, you could talk to Cass, and then, he'd give you the hint that you had to, blow up the wind and have land on the platform, whatever. But again, if you already know what you're doing, you could just do it anyway. But the prerequisite is that you have to create the wind tunnel. That's something you have to do, or else it won't activate. So here we are in the Hebra region, and I'm going to the topmost left shrine first. And there's a Lionel, scared the poop out of me. So this was a lock in place, so I wasn't feeling comfortable just, having it up there, so I ended up just doing the, holding it in stasis. So there we go. Actually, I'm gonna hit that one, first, which I'm surprised I didn't do that when I went up to the labyrinth. So over here, I'm heading off to do, the top leftmost shrine. Now, remember this shrine, because again, this isn't a very hard one, it's right out in the open. So there's another silver bokoblin. I actually really debated on if I wanted to fight it or not. Ultimately choosing not to. So I'm like struggling to wind bomb over here. This was rough, so I just used Rivali's Gale and just do that. Defeated it. I think it was a wolf or it's a fox. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I entered the shrine. It's a test of strength, so I'm putting on the full thing. If it's something as simple like a minor test of strength or modest, I typically won't do this. But at least for this series, I just wanted to see just how goofily we could just destroy these things. I absolutely shredded. I think I wanted to say that was like the one where I teabagged, because there was one really, like one of the like modest or major tests of strength that I absolutely just floored. So you see the cut here. To explain the cut here, I shit you not, like maybe like 40 minutes looking for this shrine, and I'm like, where is this shrine? So you gotta go to the top of that peak, and then fly down, and you should be able to see like the little slope, and you just get a snowball, create the little cryo platforms, and there you go. That is going to be a theme with a lot of Hebra shrines, is that they're just so hidden and so unbelievably annoying to find. So continuing on here, we're like, okay, we did the shrine, whatever, so we're gonna go to the next one. This is the point where I also started to notice that I just forgot shrines. And you're gonna see here too, that I'm gonna start like plotting shrines, because, or making waypoints and stuff, so, right here, so I'm trying to like be like, oh, I'm gonna go this way, and then, because there's a shrine I was trying to remember, that was up towards the peak, Hebra Peak, that I'm just not remembering right, and you're gonna see that I'm like, oh wait, what the heck, this isn't supposed to be here. So here's this one. So this one I don't think was very hard. excuse me. So you're seeing me like absolutely like having like a absolute just mental boggle here. So I did that. I put the ball in. I was like, oh wait, crap. So you weren't supposed to do that. Again, I'm very surprised that I'm not wind bombing through a lot of this. I'm very surprised that I did a lot of these shrines legit. Maybe that's why half of these took so long, because I was actually doing them. Which is also very weird, because I just have to, some of them I just wind bomb through. So here we're gonna be spending a lot of at least the first big part of this montage here in the Heba region. And that's because it's just, again, like something like the Tokomo, I believe is what it is. That just took so long to find. And that was the first big stump, at least for me, when it came to the session. And it only gets worse. It only gets worse. Me recording this later in post-commentary, it has been multiple days since this, and I learned some very crucial things. You're going to see later on. But my mindset of just wind bombing through apparatus shrines just cannot work. And you're going to see exactly why. Because again, there's just some shrines that you cannot do it. So, this shrine was something I just don't like. Or this one right here. Because like, it's these snowballs and it's these paths. So, I hatch a really stupid idea. Because again, it's Breath of the Wild. So, if you try it, it might work. So, I go a little bit higher. I stasis the snowball. Let it do its thing, so it's not going to just break upon impact. And then I stasis it again and launch it. It's a pretty efficient way. That's probably like the quickest way I've ever thought about it. And that's just something I decided to try, because usually I just do it legit. Go all the way at the top of the hill, drop it down, and do it. Because I believe it's depending. I think I want to say like it will make a bigger impact the bigger it gets. I want to say, but like I just stasis it and just launched at it, and it just worked. You might even be able to do it with like a smaller one. So I'm making my way up to this mountain. And because I'm like on the idea that there's one specific shrine, you get it from Rito Village, and we'll do that one. But I'm on the idea that like, oh, this shrine's gonna be at the top of this mountain, because that's where I thought it was like the highest peak in Hebra. It's not. By the way. So a lot of my thought process is like gonna be like really weird, and it is a lot of pain. It is brutal. Did you really say anything? The second session just was not that bad. Comparatively speaking to here's just like one of those like so yeah, so here you're gonna see me just kind of just stop. I didn't even notice the the sound moblin there. I didn't realize that you just were sitting there vibing with me. So yeah, this was one of those points where I marked it because I didn't have it, and I completely forgot about it. So here we got another major test of strength, and here you see me test out the weird hopping problem, and you're gonna see it here happen here too. I don't know if it's just a thing. Yeah, with that one, it was that one. Yes, it was this one. I absolutely shredded that major strength test of strength, and I just had the teabag. I just had to do it to him. I was like, dude, the thing got destroyed. So we're heading down to this one, and a lot of the ones in Hebra, I want to say like a lot of my least favorite shrines are in the Hebra region, like Tokomo, or however you say it. Like, that is consistently the one I can never remember exactly where it is. So I'm over here. I'm trying to find. This was painful. So I'm setting the day over and over and over again to try to get clear weather. The one-off chance that you get clear weather in the Hebra region. So I'm like sitting here looking, and I managed to find it. You look towards this plateau, and you'll be able to see the shrine within it. Another major test of strength. Yeah, these are just gonna come like one like out of hand. Oh yeah, so this one was just like just a flurry rush of because he just really wanted to let me do flurry rushes, and I think these shrines in particular are the ones where you really get to see. I get the diamond right there. I was like, ooh, diamond, yummy. I think the major test of strength, I think, are one of the biggest problems when it comes to the flurry rush, like debate or whatever. Like, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. So I'm in the middle on it. I think it's really cool to be able to dish out a lot of damage because it makes you feel powerful as a player, but it is a bit too easy in my opinion. And here again, I'm looking it up because I'm like, oh, where is this supposed to be? So that's another shrine I didn't have on the map, so I plot the point there as well. So I'm blowing up these things here because I'm like, oh, okay, so I guess this is what you got to do with the shrine or whatever. So I'm like, oh, follow the torches. And that's what you're supposed to do in this one. So that's not, I was like, I took a long look at that. You don't get to see exactly how long I looked at that in the footage, but I was like, that's a Korok, and I'm like, I'm not doing it, which is so weird because I ultimately just did other like Koroks, which is super funny. So this, no, is it not this one? Maybe it's not. Yeah. So I don't know why I did that. I don't know why I stood on the thing and waited for with the bow and arrow. I don't know. Another ancient core right there. This is really, really good. Another metal ball. You could just crouch. I was able to crouch right underneath that, so I was trying to get up through the crack because I was like, oh, maybe it's wide enough now. I'll be able just to walk out. No, it's not. So making my way towards the next point on the map, which was the one I just made. You're gonna see me hop multiple times for no reason. It's because I forget that I use Rivali's Gale. So this one's a weird one. So you have to swim to this one, which I guess is supposed to prove like, hey, you can swim in cold water. Which, RIP if you have 3 hearts. You're doing a 3 heart run. I have yet to do a Master Mode 3 heart run. Going down here, we're gonna be entering into the Tabitha region because I believe we have all the Hebrew ones done. I want to say maybe there might be like 1 or 2 more. So you can just see through this footage. Like I am absolutely struggling. This was just one of those ones where I was just like, please. And it finally worked, and I was just like, okay, now that I can actually continue here, this is all about stasis, except for that, I kind of just pushed the ball there. So, you know, a lot of these moments where my brain just turns off, and I'm just like, wait, why won't this tip over? I'm like sitting here thinking, I was like, what am I doing? I was like, oh, the barrel, that's what you're supposed to do. Oh, right. So here we go. You can see me do this. It's gonna open that. That one is required. So doing the thing again. I don't know exactly what I was trying to shoot for, but I was like, it's probably not worth it. So I ultimately just tried to I just ran out. A lot of these shrines I am going to attempt to do at least get all of the chests within. You see, actually, I turned the Great Fairy Fountain into a cooking pot because I was like, oh, I'm hoping that there's at least another one. That I can use to, be able to, oh, no, I guess I do actually use the Phantom Armor. Use a Phantom Armor in a really good, like a weapon, a good, like, Guardian weapon. Like, it just dies. Like, it takes, like, 6-7 hits. So, you're gonna see me also putting a lot of points on the map, as I go, because, again, I'm discovering it, like, oh, no, there's shrines here that I didn't see. This one. This shrine. So, here's another reason why the footage is not as long as you think it would for session 1. Remember, this is all one session. This was about 4 hours worth of footage that I recorded. Here is where the second part of where most of this footage is. So I'm like saying, I'm just running around the platform, put on the flame guard, I take off all the clothes. I don't know if that actually does anything, but they're like, oh yeah, you're so good at this game. So this shrine. So the first thing you do there, I learned, is just shoot the thing with the shock arrow and it'll light up all the other ones. So to really explain the nitty-gritties on how I'm doing this shrine. So the first one, again, you shoot the weird energy crystal thingy with an electric arrow, light up, allow you to go through. There are better tutorials than me out there who will explain this. I use shield skew, where you go at an angle, you shield jump into an angle. As soon as you land, you unequip the shield, and if you bounce off, you have shield skew, and then you go parallel to the wall. You shield jump, I believe. Mid-air, you unequip the shield, and as soon as you land, you would re-equip the shield, and it will allow you to clip through, and then you do it again to be able to go through the other one. And that was the idea. There are much better tutorials, and that will tell you a lot more. To break my heart, because this took me so long, That shrine took like an hour. It definitely was not a very fun shrine to do. I learned, and I'm gonna mention this in the and when I go back to live commentary, that you could use a PlayStation DualSense controller for motion controls. I'm not happy, but for the most part now, at least I know for the future that I could use a PlayStation controller for motion controls. It is very frustrating to have learned that I could have just used a PlayStation controller. And I didn't know that until I texted my friend after. I was like, hey, how'd you do the shrine in Simu? Because I didn't know the motion controls. Because I've been using a Xbox controller this entire time. And when I switched to my PlayStation 5, or one of my PlayStation 5 controllers, I just had some extras in case I had friends over who wanted to play. I didn't know that, so now I know. So it's useless now because we don't have any more, but for the most part now, I'm making my way up to Rito Village to trade in the current Spirit Orbs that I have, and I'm going to toss it back over to live commentary. Oh my god, so, update, it's, I've been currently recording for 4 hours. A lot of that time was spent looking for a single shrine or doing a single shrine. I have never in my life been so stumped. And the one shrine, it's like the Tukomo shrine, the one that's all the way up here. I struggle finding this one the first time, and I forget that's the one of the snowball puzzles. I forget that every time. But when I looked it up and figured it out, I was like, oh, okay, it's not that problem. I genuinely, and I mean this like I cannot put into words like how bad. It wasn't this one. It wasn't that one. Joluna Shrine. That shrine, I have never struggled so hard to do. What you saw, that footage was this entire footage has been sped up. It cut here and there to, cut out a lot of the, the fluff within the episode. I have never found a single shrine in this game. And I've played this game several hundred times. Like that's several hundred. Several times. Several hundred reruns of these, several hundred shrines, technically at that point. Because, 120 shrines, and I do 120 shrines every single time I play, and I've played this several times, you get the math. Never in all those shrine runs, all those shrines, even though they're the same thing every single time, whatever, have I found something so genuinely frustrating. Normally it's not that bad. It's probably one of the quicker shrines if you have motion controls. You may have saw the footage freak out for a bit. That was me genuinely taking advice from Reddit, as I looked this up. And people who use Simu had the same problem. That this is just one of those shrines that was like borderline near impossible. But people have said try using a mouse as a sort of like motion control, so maybe therefore you'd be able to do the thing. I was trying to figure that out, and eventually I figured out a video. I was trying to do it before, and I couldn't figure it out, so it's like, okay, I'll try doing the mouse thing, and just do the mouse as the motion controls and figure that out. Couldn't do that. So what I had to do was get skew storage. Shield skew storage is where you go at a slope angle, such as this. Shield jump, you put away your thing, or you do the thing, or whatever, such as that. The way that you saw it in the footage. And then you go parallel to a wall, you clip it to the wall. It was so complicated. I'm absolutely flabbergasted. But as of right now, as this checkpoint in this recording, I am over 4 hours in. I'm pretty sure when I cut it down, it's gonna be near maybe 3 hours in total of actual time looking and finding shrines. I'm baffled. I'm annoyed, obviously. I'm trying to figure out how to shield skew and be able to clip through a wall. And, oh my god, it has been... I have been recording since 3 in the morning. I don't know how long this episode is gonna be, because I still have 20 shrines left. But here we go. Wow. I'm my mind blown. My head hurts. I've never in my life seen something that weird, because I've always played this with motion controls, so I've never realized just how near impossible that shrine is without it. Oh my god. Oh, Jiminy Christmas. Wow. What? My mind, my mind cannot connect. There we go. We're pretty much halfway through the hearts on the second row. Holy crap. We're at 100 shrines done now, which means there are only 20 left in the game. So if we find them, let's count. So we got at least here left here, this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Am I missing some? I feel like I'm missing some, no? Try to get it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'm missing 6 on my counter. Uh-oh, that's scary. But I'm gonna bookmark this here. As of this recording, I've again been recording for over 4 hours, sitting in front of a screen, doing this. I'm gonna find the rest of the shrine locations, mark them down, and in my next recording session, I don't know when that's gonna be. I will hopefully get to finishing up the shrines and getting this episode done, because I'm wrapping them all up in one episode. So I'm gonna bookmark it here. You're gonna see a cut. That's when the new recording is gonna begin, and I'll see you guys at the end, or when we start doing the more intense shrine quests. I'm baffled. Yeah. Still the same video. This is a completely brand new day. Actually, it's been a couple of days since since the first session, and I learned a few things. If you don't follow me on Twitter, then you won't know this. So, I did that entire 4-hour recording session. Okay, so to preface, I used a PlayStation 5 controller for the beginning of, like, the playthrough. Now, I don't remember exactly why I switched, because I wanted to say it was because I wanted to do BLSS a lot easier, which turns out I couldn't even do BLSS to begin with. I'll explain why I'm here, as Zora's doing in just a second. I couldn't do that. So I defaulted to the Xbox controller. Now, what I didn't know, and I learned this a couple days ago, and I was very upset. I was very disappointed, because because it's on the footage, I struggled with not the last shrine that we did, or at least the last one I did in the last session. It was the one before. It was the apparatus one. I didn't know how to go about it. I was like, how on God's green grass do I do this without motion controls? Because it was an all motion control shrine. And so I learned shield skew, and practice it, put it in practice in real time, and it was hell. So I wrapped up the recording session, he went to bed and woke up, and I was texting my friend about it, and I was like, how did you do this shrine? Because he did a full 100% playthrough. Everything. Shrines, Koroks, DLCs, everything. And I asked him, how on God's green grass did you do this shrine? And he goes, with motion controls. And I was like, how did you hook up motion controls? I've tried multiple times and I can't get it to work. I've tried again to use my Twitch controller, mouse, anything. I was like, how did you do it? He goes, PlayStation controller. And I was like, what? He goes, yeah, any like DualSense controller per PS4 and PS5 offers motion control support. So it was like, ain't no way. So I'm like fiddling with it, and then I, load up the game, practicing, tweaking things, and then I just so happen to figure out that, yep, this is, yep, this is motion controls. I'm not, I'm not like the worst, it's not like the worst feeling in the world, but it ain't the best either. So, with that, we have 20 shrines left in the game as of currently, and I got them all down. Because I didn't realize, because I actually I only spent, I think, like 5 minutes, finding them. They weren't actually that hard to find, but we have the rest of the shrines down. I don't know exactly how many I'm going to be able to get done this session, because a lot of these are shrine quests and they're not that long. But there's gonna be a lot of post commentary stuff here explaining a lot of these, but a couple I'm specifically saving for like doing it actually like in real time. But without further ado, this is session number 2. Hopefully, at least for the most part, I'm hoping I don't have to do a whole nother like session. Because it's actually fairly early in the day, so I should be able to do this. Be able to knock this out. But, anyways, I'm gonna shut up now. I'm gonna get to these shrines. Oh, one last thing to explain why I'm here. I did collect like a decent amount of monster parts and stuff within that recording session, so I ended up selling a lot of it off for rupees and then more mon. So I built that up just a little bit. So, without further ado, back to the recording session. Back to pain. Here we go. All right. So starting up here with session number 2. Session number 2 went a lot better. And that's without exaggeration. I was on a much clearer mindset, and I say this was a couple days later, which isn't actually true. Because I recorded this technically Thursday morning, because I do overnight, so that's typically when I'm awake. I did it from midnight Wednesday night to Thursday morning is when I did this massive recording session. So the next day was Friday, and that's when I recorded session 2, because I had gotten up early, I didn't really have anything to do that day, and I was like, I'll just do, an extended, I'll do session 2 today. And this went significantly better. Still pretty annoyed at the fact that I didn't realize that DualSense controllers offered, motion control, but it's nice to have it now, I guess. So, going up here, I'm going to be doing a lot of Linearu shrines, and some of these I'm surprised, again, a lot more of these, I didn't have marked down. I'm pretty sure I have all the ones marked down. You actually see me zoomed on the deer, but you actually need the buck here in order to, do the shrine. This session wasn't actually as long. The recording size was still like 3 hours long. No, it was actually 4 hours, but actually, I believe with the last hour, I think we go back to just typical episode format. So in total, not that bad for session 2. You're seeing here that this is one of those moments where I'm just like, what am I doing? It would have just been faster to, do the other one, and I was like, wait, what am I doing here? I'm looking like a fool out here. And again, I'm just like, I fell off. I was like, are you kidding me? So do it again, go back over, do it again, and there we go. I got it that time. But this session didn't actually have to speed up that much. So, which is always good. So going deeper into a lot more of the, at least the ideas that I had during the series, because my biggest fear for this series was going to be how am I going to do shrines? How am I going to go about this? Because I wanted to maybe do like, oh, do I do like this set, or do I do this mount during episodes? Because usually during my normal Let's Plays, my episodes are, again, they're never really consistent. Because again, I don't really set like a precedent amount of time for myself, like, oh, how long do I record? How long do I record for this? I typically just do. I do just as much as progress as I want to, and when I feel like it's a good place to stop is typically when I stop. But that's just not easy to do with Breath of the Wild, and so I had to set a standard for how I want to do it. I knew I wanted to give the Divine Beast and their quests one whole episode, and that was the idea going forward, and I'm glad at least that stuck. But because there's so much in Breath of the Wild, and there's still like a decent amount that I'm not doing, like a lot of the more intense side quests, and the reason I'm like not really pushing for true 100% is because you don't get anything for 100%. You get a literal pile of shit for doing 100%, and I'm not kidding. And that's why I'm not doing it, because I just don't want that sort of reward. But I'm so again doing these shrines normally, which is super weird because I have the potential to just win bomb, and I even asked myself multiple times, just why don't I win bomb? It doesn't matter. It's just completing the shrines at this point. But whatever. So the shrines are no longer a problem. Obviously now, you know, obviously you're watching this episode. We have all the hearts. We have all the stamina stuff. We're going to be going into the middle trials. So the original idea that I had, going into this was I was going to do the beginning trials. Maybe it was a high amount of overconfidence, because I remember when I first did it, I didn't have that much of trouble, except for that one room. Except for the one room with the Lizalfos. I hate that room, and I will always hate that room. This room is so annoying. But, I remember that I just never had a problem with it. And doing the beginning trials on this one made me realize, like, well, maybe because I'm recording, I'm doing a lot of live commentary, trying to, commentate over what I'm doing, and like why I'm doing such thing, and why I'm doing this. And, that made me realize, I was like, oh, maybe I'm not as equipped for doing the Trial of the Sword as I thought I was. Here you're gonna see me struggle a bit, trying to, remember how brain works. But, this was something that had awakened, like, oh, maybe I should go out of my way to do all the shrines now, finish them off, and then have the rest of the, more time to do, or have the extra time to do more of the DLC stuff, as opposed to, doing, small shrines along the way. We don't have to worry about that anymore. Doing a lot more off-screen grinding. I do mention it at the end of this episode because I do want to get those last 4 pieces of outfits, the last 7 pieces of outfits that I have yet to collect. As far as I know, there isn't any other ones. I believe I have all the ones that you can buy, all the ones that you can just find. I even got the Nintendo Switch shirt. Again, the Amiibo outfits are just gonna have to be saved for another time. But for the most part, everything is complete up to this point outside the DLC stuff. So the idea was, I was gonna do the beginning trials, fly through it, and then maybe do a few more shrines in between, or do the beginning shrines and be like, oh, it's not gonna take that long, and then I'll do, shrines afterwards. And then I did the beginning trials, and I was just like, oh, oh, I'm scared. So I ended up just deciding, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna stop. I'm going to just do the shrines. And I actually tried to do the funny, like, Guardian thing, where you launch them up with a cryo when you're in bullet time, but I couldn't get to work. I don't think it works on those ones. Excuse me, sorry. So do the beginning ones, do shrines, do the middle ones, do some more shrines, and then I wasn't exactly sure, because the idea was maybe like, oh, do a decent amount of them with the beginning trials, do a decent amount of them with the middle trials, and it should be fine to do the final trials and then finish them off afterwards. But I was already, really, really, like, startled by, oh, there's another Blood Moon incident, and I even acknowledged it. I was like, oh, so I'm going to talk about that in a minute, actually, because I think this is really interesting. I've never seen this before. And then, complete DLC 1 outside of Master Mode, of course. So I didn't do it. So we're doing this now, and then the next episodes we're gonna do the DLC 1 and DLC 2. and I'm not sure exactly what happens after that. I think, of course, we're going to go defeat Ganon. It's going to be the last episode, because, again, you don't really get anything for defeating Ganon. I'm just spoiler alert for, if you haven't played the game at this point, you don't actually get any post-game stuff for defeating Ganon. This was, again, just having that scare with the thing, I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna just do the shrines. And here's, actually, that's where Kilton stays. Some of the stuff I haven't seen before, so it's like really cool. So, in Gerudo now, so you notice the blood moon, during the sand seal race for the shrine. This was something I've never seen. I was like, oh, is it gonna behave like a normal blood moon and just kind of just raise the enemies that I barely defeated? No. In fact, I'm pretty sure, because I was in the middle of a scripted event, like the shrine quest with the sand seal, it couldn't break away from that, so it pushed the blood moon back a day. I find that really funny. Because again, I've never seen that before, and I thought it was like really, really interesting. So this, I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's just a storage. I was like, oh, great, wow, most of my time here. So I'm not exactly sure yet. I have a very vague idea, and I'm pretty sure I might go with this vague idea on how I'm gonna do DLC 2. Similar to just how I did the Divine Beast, because it's about the champion. So do at least like one champion, or we're gonna have to break it down into different segments. Obviously, it's not all gonna be done in one run. That's a given. In fact, honestly, I could have done DLC 2 at literally any point, at least the beginning part of it, because or at least, after we get to the final Divine Beast, because you don't unlock DLC 2 until after you get all 4 Divine Beasts. That's the prerequisite. You have to at least have done every single Divine Beast in the game, or else you don't get to do it. But anytime after that, you could literally do it, at least like the first big part, because as far as anything goes, excuse me, it wouldn't have mattered how much health you had had. But I do want to do it in order. There's really cool rewards for both of them, and that's why I'm including them. Bleh. So, here's one of those, like, shrine, I don't know if this is a shrine quest, but I know it's like, you have to navigate through the sandstorm in order to find the shrine. But also here, there is a great fairy. We're gonna get back to that later. Because I just did not have enough rupees at the time, and I really just didn't want to, like, deal with it, and I was like, I'll just do it afterwards and come back to it and unlock it later. I am trying to defeat as many enemies as I can. Yeah, gold rupee right there was really, really good. I'm taking all different, rupees at this point. So this is, like, one of those shrines that annoys me every time, because I just slightly forget how it works every single time. And right here, I had the general right idea. I just didn't do it right. So I'm like, thinking like, oh, could I just, wind bomb over it? Shake my little wine glass? No. So I'm like, how in God's name do you do this? I was like, oh, wait, you stasis the one block, and then you let it, you grab the thing while, and it's stupid. Yeah, I'm very dumb. And then of course, you would, it will stop it where it's supposed to be. I'm stupid. So swap to the Sheikah outfit here, because I want to be able to collect these fairies. Every time, the fairies are an omen. Every time I go out of my way and collect like a good amount of them, I just lose them. I just die. Going around collecting some of the resources here. I just didn't have enough rupees at this point. I would eventually, because I'll sell all the good stuff that I get from the shrines. But as of right now, I just didn't have it. So here's one of those shrine quests where you have to do it, but it's just not an annoying like sequence where you have to do one thing then go to another. This one, you're just like, you have to pay attention to the different markings on each of the statues. So every statue will have a different symbol, and you have to correspond this, the ball with the design. Each ball will have a different design, and you have to correspond the ball with the statue that has the same design as it. It's not that hard. It's like the one that we did before, the Thunder Helm, or the Thundra Plateau, or whatever, where you had to go do the different colored balls and then the different colored spots. So same thing here, just a bit harder. And actually, right here, you actually get to see the blood moon happen, and I'm just like, wait, what? Wait, what? Because it was the next night, and I didn't realize, like, oh, right, the seal races, I did the seal things, and, oh, God, it was goofy. So I'm looking for the last ball, and it's right here, and I was like, oh, not that bad. It's not a very hard shrine. You just have to pay attention to the different statues, so going inside, it's a blessing, not really that much to, to talk about. Another weapon, shield, whatever it was, I didn't see it. So we're at 111. We have 10 left. That shrine I was actually just highlighting is just one of those ones where I'm like, oh, it's this one. You can see it way off in the distance, and you're like, oh, well, that's not bad. You can, just be able to enter the shrine. No, this is tied to a shrine quest. I'm pretty sure you could actually just enter it with shield skew. I want to test it at some point on another playthrough. And see if you could actually just shield skew right into the shrine, because I want to say that you can, because it would feel like really cool if you could, just so you could just get the entire quest. So I didn't just play Breath of the Wild, just focus on this. Absolutely not. So at some points, if I just kind of just stop, I'm actually playing or listening, or more so like listening to videos in the background, and you gotta wait for this lady to wake up in order to get the ice. And so I'm just like, can you wake up? I was hearing the enemy theme, and I was like, wait, where's the enemy theme? It was one of the wolves, and I'm like looking around. I was like, wait, what? Where's the enemy? So I'm like, I'm waiting, I'm goofing around, just waiting for her to wake up, and she finally does. And then you gotta get the ice, and then you got to bring it all the way over to the halfway point, because again, you don't have to bring it the entire way, because if you did, that would suck. So I don't know if my strategy would say it would be like the most logical way to doing this. I just stuck to the shadows. I think I see people do this different so often. Really, this part where I got stuck right here, I was like, oh shoot, what do I do here? And I was like, I'll stasis it and I'll launch it. Didn't do a whole good. So I was like, oh crap. So I just brought it over there. And actually, that's actually another one of those talking points, because you have to wear the Gerudo outfit through Gerudo Town in order to start the quest, so they don't know that you look different. But that's another one of those interesting dialogue options, because I wore the Majora's Mask just so I could avoid the enemies, because I didn't want to deal with them. So I put it on, I got my way over there, and I forgot to take it off. But there's an actual, really interesting, special dialogue option that will, trigger if you don't actually have the, your Gerudo outfit on. And I was like, oh, that's really, really cool. So, tell her that her drink is ready, and she just revitalizes, and she runs off. So, going back here now, we have a few more left. So, I debated on which one of these I wanted to do first, because they're so close together, I can just teleport from one to the other. But I'm going up north of the, Korok Forest. You're actually going to see here that I got, really dangerously close, because I don't know exactly the way, you're right here. I don't know exactly the way that, where, the actual, full boundary is for Korok Forest. I almost got, encased there, and took a fat L and got trapped, and had to get sent back to the beginning of Korok Forest. So I'm, frantically trying to get out. So, here we are in Typhlo Ruins. Everything is completely dark. There's multiple ways you can do this. You could use remote bombs, you could use torches, you could use campfires and everything else, or you could also use Urbosa's Fury to light your way around, which is what I did. Put on my armor, the good one, and just absolutely destroyed the Hinox. So all you gotta do is just get the ball from the Hinox, and the shrine just opens. not a very hard shrine. I believe this is actually a blessing. And it is. Okay. Going out here, so that's all done. Always nice to get another ancient core. And we're going to go back to Medell, because this is the point that I decided, I was like, I gotta do the shrine quest. This is the last one that's here. I will do the Warbler's Nest shrine quest. Oh, this one. This one. This wouldn't be so bad, because it's not that hard of a combination. You know what it is, but they all have to be present in order for the shrine quest to complete. And this one's annoying because it's a longer one, because you have to go find each of the sisters, you gotta go find what they're doing, you get the different ingredients, and then you have to put it all together, and then, maybe if you already had the ingredients, you could just put the dish together, and that would speed it up. I don't know. But as far as I always knew, this was the intended way you have to do this, and it is annoying. I hate this one. This one is one I dread every single time I play, because it's not a hard shrine quest. It's stupidly easy, but it's just so long and annoying. Recital at Warbler's Nest. So yeah, I'm sitting here trying to find the last sister. I'm like, what is the falcon thing? And I was like, oh, it's the shop. So you get all the ingredients, the Tabitha wheat, the hearted whatever, and she's like, oh, nom 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 nom. I'm eating food. Yeah, I guess I could just sing now, because, you know, instead of just, I don't know, finding something to eat myself, I force everyone else to make my food for me. And so they all go to Warbler's Nest, and they tell you the song. So I'm like getting the dialogue option, and I'm like, oh, you know, like, what do I do? Why won't it let me progress? And you have to actually be able to get the correctly from her in order to do this. So I tried to figure out why this isn't working. It took me a couple tries to even talk to them, and it would actually tell you the combination, even though I already know it. But there it is. Warbler's Nest is done, and I never have to worry about it again for now. Yeah, this is, I hate the shrine quest. This one's annoying. I hate this one. So, but we are approaching the end here. We only have a few more shrine quests left. These are all shrine quests too. Like, I did all the just available ones, so it's nothing but shrine quests. I say shrine quest, like I did all the available ones, but there is one special one that I'm saving for last because I just think it's cool. I do it every single time I play. Like one of those like gaming rituals I have to do. So we are down to the last, like, I think like 5. So here I'm actually upgrading my bow stash and my shield stash, or my weapon stash, and then my bow stash. That's those two I'm doing. So you gotta do the Korok Trials. The Korok Trials is an elongated side quest that you do to get shrines. So these ones aren't very hard. I'm actually doing the pilgrimage first because this one's just long. This one's long. This one's long and it's annoying. You have to follow this little Korok through the Lost Woods. You cannot be seen or you have to restart. And there's multiple points where it'll like run back, and then it'll throw you off, and then this one's annoying. The speeding up footage doesn't do justice to just how annoyingly long this one is. Again, some of these ones aren't hard. They're just stupidly long. So I ran back. I was so scared on this one. This is the spot that gets me, even though I know it's coming. Because it could run back, and I've been caught there multiple times on my own, and I didn't want to repeat that. So, a wolf actually will will become aware of your presence. You shoot it quickly, and I'm gonna get the drops, and then we're just gonna continue on our way. I'm trying to stay hidden. I typically like to wait a little bit before approaching, because I've had it once where I got to the very end of this quest. He was like 1 or 2 steps away, I want to say, from actually hitting like the checkered flag goal or whatever you want to say for this. And I got caught, and I had to do it again, and I was so unbelievably angry. And I hate this one every single time I play. So I drop a shield there. So this one is the test of wood. And all you have to do is just make it to the end with your wood weapons. If they break, you lose. This one's actually not that bad. You could just kind of go as long as you have like in the Majora's Mask. Really makes a lot of this easy because the only enemies that will attack you are just really basic enemies, like anything with like one or a very small amount of HP. Those are the only ones you'll actually have to worry about. So 4 shrines left. We're gonna do the last of the shrines here. So right there, I believe where it just kind of stood still. I was selecting a video. And so here I'm gonna talk to this little Korok, and this is one where you just use magnesis and get through like the trees and stuff. Again, Majora's Mask really just makes this easy. You see me flicking the motion controller around. I'm not letting this go. This was painful. So you put the shield in the mouth, and I believe it'll spawn the chest. And then you take the chest, and then you bring it across the river, and you put it into the other one's mouth, and then you unlock the shrine. Not very hard. It's just Magnesis Trial 2. So here we are at the end, where we're very, very close. So I'm actually doing some cooking here. Just doing all my full recovery stuff. And actually, you can see like right here. I can't carry more meals. I was like, are you kidding me? So actually right there, I actually went to look for fireflies, because of a certain side quest that you do in Kakariko Village to unlock a shrine. And this is actually the one where we're going next. So to explain the shrine, so I can explain this in full detail, you have to do it's not any like number of side quests in Kakariko Village. It is actually, I believe, a select few that you have to do. I want to say, because the idea is you're gonna it'll all lead up to the shrine quest at the end. So the first one is you have to find at night Kato. He'll be crying about his chickens, and he wants you to go get the rest of his chickens and do that. I believe, I want to say the one that we did before with the flaming torches, where you get the fire arrows, you light up all the torches for the lady in the shop. I believe it's the second one. I'm not 100% confirmed about I can't 100% confirm that, but I believe it is. Maybe you have to do all the side quests in Kakariko Village. I'm not 100% sure, but and also you have to do the fairy fountain one. I believe that's also another prerequisite that you have to do. So over here I'm just like trying to count, like, oh, how many kakus have I gotten? So there's still some. And the last one is what we needed the fireflies for. There is a house here that will I'm looking for the cuckoo. And you have to have 5 fireflies, at least 5, because you have to have an entire handful of fireflies in order to activate this. So you actually see me head over there now. So actually you're gonna see me here collecting a bunch of fireflies. You only need 5. I'm just going out of my way to collect the extra few just in case. So I'm like, okay, so I have enough. So you go into the Lastly's house, and I'm like, oh well, crap, you can't do that. I believe it's because it's the time of day. I was like, I don't really want to spend money to heal at the campfire. So I changed it to night, and she'll tell you about fireflies. That she wants to see a firefly because they don't really leave the village. And so you just drop an entire thing of fireflies, and that completes the quest. So when you do those quests, you will see that the guards at the front gate are alerted. You go inside, and they'll tell you about the heirloom, and Paya's all upset about it. She's very upset. And this is the end goal of a certain speedrun category called Get Laid %. I'm not shitting you. I wish I was making this up. It's not. So that is the end goal of a certain speedrun, where you get all the way to Kakariko Village, you do all the different quests and stuff to unlock the shrine quest, and then time ends when you wake up with Paya up in a room. I wish I was kidding. So for this shrine quest, the Stolen Heirloom, you have to wait until night. I was debating on if I wanted to sit with the campfire, because I was like, oh, it just makes sense. Just sitting here I am trying to get hit by this stick. But eventually, Dorian will start walking up the hill, and you have to follow him. Same thing as with the Korok kid. Korok, unless I don't know if it's actually a kid or not. You want to just walk up. So, actually, I sit here and wait because I think that's the guy. Like, oh, is it there? And I didn't realize that Dorian got so far ahead. So you just need to follow behind him. Don't get caught. There's a point up here where I thought he turns around. So when he gets over there, I'm actually putting on my armor and stuff. I'm actually sitting here waiting for a second because I've had it where you get caught. But at the end of the bridge, you will face a Yiga Blade Master. Because he's like, oh, you did good to give us all the information. Now you knew you yeehawed your time when you left the clan. Or whatever. So Dorian will go on his life story that he was a part of the Yiga clan, but he just decided not to because he met his wife and kids. He wanted to leave, so they killed his wife. He's protecting his kid. To protect his kids, he fed information to the Yiga. And he told them about the heirloom that's connected to the hero, so they steal it, and then Pike gets all upset, and so he's like, hey, could you be quiet about it? And we were okay, I guess we will. So that's going to be the end of this commentary. Thank you guys so much for listening to me, and I'm going to swing it back to live commentary me for the final 2 shrines. 2 shrines. Yeah, it's still decently early, and I didn't expect this to go as fast as it did. Which, to be fair, it's, I think, about 7 hours worth of footage I'm working with for all the shrines. Now that I say that, no, I think that's about the fastest I've ever done the shrines. That's crazy. So, yeah, so this was one of the ones I wanted to save for last, because this is a very interesting challenge. You can make it here immediately after you start the game. Albeit, if you do BLSS, you know, your bow lift smuggling slide, I think is what it's called. You can do that. You can wind bomb. If you have multiple stamina potions, you can make it here. You could cryo your way all the way over here if you wanted to do that to yourself. This is a extra challenge for your shrine. It's actually quite an interesting challenge, and it's very similar to the Trial of the Sword. So yeah, you're gonna need quite a bit of stamina to make it here. A lot of the shrine quests that I was dreading and I was like really wanting to save for last weren't that bad. How's it going? You have traveled to this island. I present you with a challenge. In your travels, you've relied on the equipment you found along the way. Here you must cast this equipment aside and face this trial with only your wits and whatever you can scavenge. But yeah, this was one of the last few ones I wanted to do, because this one's special and I wanted to save it for last, because typically this is one of the first ones I do. Let me get the spear! Oh my god! Oh, I want to focus this guy. There we go. But yeah, so you're completely stripped of everything you own. You're stripped of everything you completely own. And you gotta use your wits and your will to survive. The main goal of this challenge of this island is getting 3 of the shrine ball things into the pedestals. That is the overall challenge of Eventide Island. You're going to find that weather can change. Actually, there's only like 2 weather. There's only 2 things of weather. There is sunny weather and then there's stormy weather. So yeah, you're really gonna have your money cut out here. This is one of the fun, like the most fun challenges, and okay, I guess I won't. This is one of the most fun challenges, and this is definitely one of the ones I look forward to every playthrough, because it is— wait, what? Why did it just die? What? Oh, is it because of that? Huh. Alright. But yeah, this is one of the more fun challenges. This is one I definitely look forward to every playthrough. But, oh my god. I want to save this box, because there's actually a really funny cheese strat you can do with this high knock. You can do with this high knocks. So you take this box, as long as you do this right, you could just cheese this. This is definitely one of the spookier ones. Oh, I messed it up. I don't have a bow. That's unfortunate. I messed this up already because I was a little too aggressive with it. But we can save it, we can save it, we can save it. Isn't help that I have a core rock or rock rock. I need cover. This is the strategy, baby. No. Oh, mess it up. No, why? Not. Game. You smart. You smart. You smart. Game. Grab the fucking chest. Jesus. All right. This strategy isn't working. He's too fucking fast. Die. Alternate. Die. When in doubt, bomb it out. Call me Walter White because I'm going after the DEA. What the fuck? Get away from me, you fool. No. Absolutely not. You don't get the tree. What? Alright, we gotta go. He has a tree and he knows how to freaking use it. Oh god. Hold that, idiot! Hold that L! Oh god. God. Now this is why this is fun, because it actually requires you to, like, learn, you know, actually be good at the game, which is already a challenge in itself. Really given a good viable use of the remote bombs. You can stealthily land on him and just take the... Nope. No animations for you. That's enough. No funny ideas. Die. There we go. Yeah, it's an interesting challenge. Take your weapons. There we go. Alright. You saw within the footage, that I fought a Molduga. The Moldugas are native to the, Gerudo region. And that was the last of the, enemies that I had to get to, like, the big enemies. That aren't just, you know, your Lionels, your Hinoxes, your Taluses. That was the last one I had to get to encounter. Because I didn't spend long in Gerudo. Until I did the Shrine quests. So, we were able to see one. Yeah, if you know what you're doing, Moldugas are not very hard to take down. In fact, I'd say they're even pretty easy. But yeah, that was cool. So we'll be able to grind those now. Because I wanted to wait to, you know, to not grind them until... the lizard. Got it. Awesome. Use that with monster parts to be able to make a potion. Yeah, I wanted to wait until we actually encountered one. to be able to, are you kidding me? All up there. Thank you. Alright, awesome. Yeah, because I wanted to wait until we actually encountered one. Oh, that's so risky. It's so risky. Why did I do that? Yeah, you can, I've seen instances of being able to get, like, soft lock right here. And it sucks. I haven't had it personally happen to me. Well, I know it can happen. That's why I'm, like, super, like, oh, I shouldn't be, you know, just, you know, going out of my way to, you know, do stupid stuff like that. Oh. Oh, right, I don't have any arrows. That's why I can't wind bomb. Oh, whatever. Yeah, you kind of need arrows in order to wind bomb. So yeah, I don't know. That's, that one shrine. I'm never gonna forget that one shrine. That, I swear to you, I didn't know that you could use a PlayStation controller for, you know, motion control. Because I had used the PlayStation controller early on. I used it early on in the playthrough. Die. Oh, you could kill the crabs? Oh my god! I didn't know you could do that. Jesus. Because I didn't know you could do that. Because I was on the idea. Tree branch, get out of here. Where'd that chest go? I know I, like, yeeted it because, Hinox was starting to become, smart. I don't remember where it was. I know it was, like, by the, they saw the stairs leading up. Yeah, it was over this way. Yeah, because this is a camp over here. And I abandoned the chest over here because the Hinox was starting to use his brain cells. So it was like, oh, you know what? You know, this Highland really isn't that. This Highland really isn't that scary. So you, I hate you. Oh, he's got a weapon. He's got a bow. Take a shot, bud. Now give me an arrow. God, you guys are really bad for this. Shut up. Nah, that you could do that. That's what I wanted to show off in the Trial of the Sword. That you can just blow them up. Try some. Try some. Okay. Where are you shooting at, my guy? Oh. No. Oh, you know what I just realized that I had? That I didn't actually use? It lets you keep your champion abilities as well. Me a moment. I forgot that it lets you keep your champion abilities. Or that will allow me to go back up. Awesome. But yeah, I had completely forgotten that it lets you keep your champion abilities, and I'm just like, man, this is gonna be really tough. And then I was just like, oh wait. Oh damn it. Not even enough. We should drop more arrows. That'd be really great. Oh, they did. They're over here. 5 bundle. Oh, Jesus. They just stick a freaking choo-choo in the barrel. That is some dedication right there. I believe you could use red choo-choo jelly to create a campfire. Yeah, this really makes you think about the way that you play. Because you can't really just, like, do whatever. Okay, I don't even think I need to. I don't think I need to worry about that because there's a campfire right there. Because again, the only other the only other weather here is storm. So, over there. We need to find a way. I gotta remember where the next pedestal is. Yes, this is pretty much the entirety of like this. Cause I know there's the one at the top of the hill. Maybe it is up over here, or one of these anyway. It's been a hot minute since I did this. But yeah. Overall though, came together pretty well. I'm gonna do a lot of editing post. This is gonna be the most edited episode. Crap. Where am I going? I completely. Oh no. Back over here. I just completely bamboozled myself. I am lost. Definitely lost. I think that's just where like one of them is. Yeah, I know like one of the things is up this way. I think. Again, it's an I think moment because I really am just like running off of like kind of just on base like very minimal memory. Yeah. Oh, leave me alone. So this thing, aside from like the one shrine where it took me like 20 minutes to try to remember where it was. Oh god. All right, so this is what we're gonna do here. Pray that they come over this way and. Well, they did. They did come this way. Yeah. Oh my god, I really want you to die. Any fire. It's just die. Nope, you don't get a torch. You don't get torch, you don't get anything, you get death. Death is all you get. Death is all you'll ever get, bitch. Got him. Yeah, I'm gonna switch my shield. Yeah, because it's gonna start storming here soon. Because it is the only, like, other weather. Yeah, that's the thing that, like, a really good thing to know, too. Oh, I can do that now and just instantly break metal things. Oh, this is gonna be so good. Yeah, see? There it goes. Yeah, told you. Yeah, so this sort of weather is actually unique to this area. Because some areas have, like, unique weather patterns. You know, like this area with, you know, the fact that it's guaranteed a storm, or it's something of the sort. So that's like a really good thing to know. Oh Jesus Christ. There's a lot of lightning bolts. So yeah, I believe it's within a certain time. Honestly, yeah, it's like 5 to a certain time period. I don't remember. I'm gonna try to get all of them in within the circle. Preferably without running out of stamina. There we go. And oh my god, that I just caused a massacre. Oh my god. That was brutal. I'm sorry, I'm learning from my actions, and I will never do this again. I can't promise anything, that was cool. That's, a pretty simple way to deal with that. Alright. Are you kidding me? Okay. Oh yeah, it said like the High Nox. It wasn't actually that bad. I think like the High Nox is like the only the scary part, and I believe in Master Mode it's like a lot tougher. Again, champion abilities really just make everything easier. We're sending this bitch to the atmosphere. And there it goes. Alright, and bada bing, bada boom. And there we go. And that is the last pedestal, and that will complete the shrine. That is shrine number 119. Whoa. this has been a journey, and I'll have enough time to be able to throw it into the editing software, and at least for the most part, kind of begin production on it, because yeah, it's gonna might do end up doing some like simple scripting and stuff to kind of just like, oh, thanks game, yeah, thanks, I appreciate it. Well, you know what? That didn't actually take me that long. There we go. Switching to. There you go. Switching to non-metal stuff. Does that at least like let me keep the monster parts and stuff? It might. I don't know. Actually, no, I didn't see. No, I collected moblin gut. No, it doesn't. Okay. Well, Sag, I guess. Oh, run, run, Kel, run. But yeah, like I had a lot of time to reflect and just kind of think things out during this whole process. Which in retrospect for me, it doesn't feel like it's that long. If like I had way more time, because the day that I recorded this particular like episode, I chose just a really bad day. If I would have been able to have just a full straight shot, there's still a couple things I gotta do. Because there's a Great Fairy over in the Gerudo region that I didn't do. And because, wanted, 10,000 rupees. So that's another thing. It's still some stuff gotta do, at least to cap off this episode. And wait, one more shrine. Look at that, 119. Holy crap. No, I think this is the fastest I've ever done this. I genuinely think this is the fastest I've ever done it. And then again, I did dedicate, like, because, like, the reason I even did this, when I was so far out of my way to do all these shrines, in this particular order, was because of the simple fact that because I was, like, super worried, because I was choking really hard on the beginning shrines. I was like, oh, well, crap, I'm losing a lot of health stupidly fast. And I would want to have the full amount of health going into the middle and last shrines, especially the final shrines, or the middle and final trials, just so that I would have it. And going into that, I was like, okay, so I'm going to go out of my way, just do all the shrines in one go. And that's what this episode was, because this was like the one thing I didn't know how I was gonna go about doing it. Because I could alternatively be like, do the beginning trials, do like a certain amount of shrines here, do the middle trials, do a certain more amount of shrines, and then do the final, or have all the shrines done. Before going into the final trials. But I was like, I would have to do like, you know, a certain amount of stuff here and then a certain amount of stuff there. So I was like, I'll just knock them all out. And the Great Earth Fairy Terra, the oldest of the four sisters, four fairies, whatever. Anyway, this is the last fairy. Thinking, can we just get to the part? Impatient person. I can enhance to the max. Let's see what I got. More stuff available. Oh yeah, I can do this because I had the fireflies. I don't want to do the ancient armor again. It's really good when you do it because it gets a lot more buffs to ancient stuff, but oh no, I don't want to do it again. It took so long last time. Just aside some like really weird stuff that happened like while I was recording, like the blood moon during the seal race. I thought that was pretty goofy because I think it wanted to pass over the blood moon, but because I was in a scripted event, it couldn't, so it pushed it back. And I think that was like really funny. So you actually can see right here, I have these two treasure chests marked. We're gonna kind of just wrap everything up in this particular episode alongside doing all the shrines. Because going forward, we just have DLC stuff left. Of course, Master Mode is probably gonna happen in the future. I wanted to really settle down and do the first playthrough of Breath of the Wild. And it's been a long while since I've played Master Mode. But there's still like a lot of decent stuff left to do. So, or is the series really gonna end? That's to be debated. There's still some stuff I could do. Still some enemies we could have yet to see. Maybe there's just some stuff I forgot to grab here and there throughout the adventure or whatever, but, for the most part, I'm just about done everything I wanted to. I know what I said I wanted to really cover all of, you know, like, I wanted to get at least all the clothing. Outside of Amiibo, because you can't use Amiibo unless you can, and then I'm not gonna figure that out, because I know there's, like, NFC codes you could apply, which are basically what Amiibos are. But instead of doing that, I wanted to dedicate the entire episode to showing off the Amiibo outfits, at least some of them, on an actual file that has them, so I can show off their abilities and what they can do. And there's gonna be some other ones that exist that I don't have the Amiibo for, because finding Amiibo is like trying to find a cure for cancer. Like, it probably exists, but it is absolutely soul-crushing to try to find it. Alright, so the entrance where we want to go is down here. This, to just reflect, at least on the shrine part, doing the shrines is probably the biggest, like, dreadful thing. Warbler's Nest is probably one of the stupidest ones, because you have to do the shrine quest. You can't just skip it, even if you know the whole thing, which is the same for every file. Even if you know it, you have to do it. They have to be present in order for the shrine to appear, which absolutely bothers me. Yeah, it's just that one shrine quest that I absolutely dreaded what was like to come up. And I was just not excited for it. So, coming in here, welcome to the Forgotten Temple, where everything here is Guardian and it wants to kill you. Oh my god. So yeah, it is just a straight shot to the end. Just how good are you at dodging Guardian lasers? That was absolutely terrifyingly close. And there's the final shrine. Completed. Not all, I don't think all the Amiibo stuff has, like, special abilities. The other thing on them are just purely cosmetic. The difference between the DLC outfits and the Amiibo outfits is that you can upgrade the Amiibo outfits. Especially with certain sets. Really makes them viable. There's also exclusive weapons, exclusive items you get from the Amiibo. There's a very exclusive thing you can get from a certain Amiibo, which is in the game. You have to use the Amiibo to get it. I think there's variations of the Amiibo. You can use the Smash one, you can use the actual Zelda one. I'm not sure any of the new Tears of the Kingdom Amiibo will have any effect here in Breath of the Wild. It would be cool, but that's maybe asking too much. Maybe just, like, giving the outfit, at least a specific outfit for it, like the variation for it. But anyway, let's tap this and claim the last shrine. You have done well to arrive at the shrine. A hero rises to right the wrongs of Hyrule. In the name of the goddess Hylia, I bestow upon you this spirit orb. And here it is. Woo! Spirit orb, and that brings us up to 20. The 20 last ones we needed. You have at last conquered all of our trials. Having fulfilled our purpose, we monks bestow upon you this, the warrant of the true hero. You must now depart for the Forgotten Temple. Do you know where we are? A gift from the monks, and this is an exclusive side quest you only get from completing all the shrines. May the gods smile upon you. Okay, so coming here. Oh, it's so good to see all 120 shrines done. I'm pretty sure when I played through, like, my first run on through Simu, I don't think I did all 120 shrines. I think I just completed the game. Anyway, you're at the Forgotten Temple. This is only available after you have completed all 120 shrines. Open this up, and we get Cap of the Wild. This was the outfit I was referring to that was only available through the shrines. Or at least, like, the last major shrine outfit. And Trousers of the Wild. And this was the gift from the monks. So, I'll put it on. If I can find it here. Cool callback to the original. Master Sword regained his energy back yet? No. Oh. I guess we'll just do this. Yeah. Really cool. Really cool outfit. Not one that I particularly wear. Nothing really against the outfit itself. It's just not one of those ones that you're gonna find me wearing. But anyway, let's pray to the god statue. Not the final time. If you know, you know. It conquered shrines. She'll grant the power you seek. And here we go. Because we're not actually done the shrines. There's 4 left, but those are going to be DLC related, so. Which is what we're going to be doing after the Trial of the Sword. Gosh. So there's like, 5-10 episodes left of the series. Which is weird to think, because I feel, like, when I went into the series just to reflect on everything, I was like, this series is gonna be like 100 episodes. Like, this is gonna be like my longest series on the channel. And I had this underlying fear, because I was like, because I wanted to do like the 20-minute episodes, or just how like 20-minute, 30-minute episodes of how I wanted to do it. Like, I started this series like that, but ultimately I decided to not do that. And here we go. Go bring Peace of Hyrule. Have all the hearts that we can as of right now. And yeah. Wow. Alright. So, that is not the end of this episode. Yet, despite me recording, having 7 hours of footage to use here, there's still a couple small things left that I want to do. First of which is coming here to Zora. I just like coming to Zora's Domain. It's just kind of like right here. If we can't get it in this episode, that will be fine. Which I'm going to be pushing for the Dark Link outfit. It's like, I think, one of the last couple outfits I still need. I'm trying to think. And it's still, like, the 4 masks as well. Like, I think those are, like, the last, very, very last 2 outfits that I have left to collect. You know, outside any amiibo outfits. So, is that a freaking... Okay, no, it's not. I thought there was gonna be a freaking blood moon. Just you, good evening. Exchange for Mon. Alright, let us do some exchanging. I'm gonna do a lot of off-screen grinding. When I have the ability. Because I'm going to be grinding a lot for Ancient Guardian parts. Just to have them. So I can really complete the Ancient Collection. But for right now, I have no need for them. I might be able to pull this off. Maybe. I really just want to sell like the actual good stuff here. Because, yeah, selling small stuff is going to mean absolutely nothing here. Do that. Yeah. Oh, that's what he sells for that little? Jesus. 55 per? Let's go. That's huge. 20. Yeah, I think it's like 5,000 Mon, I think, for the entire outfit. 90, that's it? Jesus. I think Lionel parts are like the best stuff for it. Yeah, we'll sell Hinox Tooth. Yeah. Okay. Spent some Mon. 3,400. See what we can do here. Yeah. If I run the calculations, or a calculator, Yeah, we need 4,000 mon. I was close. Oh, that's not even like ending it there. Hold up. I want everything I'm gonna want. Another 999. 299 plus 199 plus 99. Yep. 5,000 mon. I'm gonna need that much to really complete everything here. So a lot of my stuff is going to be doing off-screen grinding. That's gonna be on my own. But for the most part, trying to remember. We got the Great Fairy done. Oh, yeah, so there's something we can do here. So we're gonna go to the Central Tower. Because I was saving this for now. And there's a couple special things you can get. They're out of the way. You don't have to do them. Again, I have. Is it storming out? Regardless. So we're gonna go this way. And we're just gonna go fly off this way. So, there's a couple special things you can get here. Again, you don't have to do it. It's just optional, it's out of the way. For my recommendations for this, you're going to want full stamina. Plus some if you can do it. Especially for one of these things, if you know what we're doing. Yeah, you're gonna need quite a bit. Oh no. Why? Leave me alone. The one time I forget to put on my Majora's Mask, I'm like, oh, I'll keep it off. I don't need it. And it's at that time where I need it. Okay, so do that and go up. And there we go. Actually, I am gonna put on the, at least for right now, just to keep it on. So around these parts should be something special. In fact, actually, I'm going to do this. On top of that, I'm going to... Do I not have wood? Lol. I was going to change it to daytime. Just so that monsters won't spawn, because it's annoying. But around here, on top of this hill, should be something really cool. I believe I'm in the right area. No, a little bit further down. Okay. These are thicker trees. I won't be able to cut these down for wood. I'm trying to find like a less thick tree. I don't think I'm gonna do that. Actually, no, there's go right here. Okay. Let me switch. Nah. That'll be fine. There we go. There we go. Click that, and we're gonna come over here because right there, you see off in the distance. Because I want to be able to have the best effect on this and be able to do this, without too much trouble. I'm going to create a campfire and I'm going to set it until noon. And setting it to noon will prevent stealth enemies from spawning and being a general problem. So the best thing to do for this is going full stealth. Stealth is going to quiet you down so that you can sneak up and grab this horse. This is one of the things I wanted to get in this playthrough because this horse is actually special. If you remember from the cutscenes, especially in this area, Zelda had a very particular horse. And that horse, probably not the same horse, but is very, very similar to it. So, just sneak up. As long as it doesn't decide to move. There we go. Awesome. So we got the horse. And so here's how horse mechanics work. Very stupidly, might I add. So, here's how the horse physics work. Horses will generally follow a set path. Trying to remember like the nearest stable is. I'm pretty sure this is this one. Maybe. Actually, it's behind me, so we gotta turn around. So horses are going to not be very akin to your liking. You're gonna have to work on taming them. Taming them follows multiple different things. They're gonna get a little rowdy. Keep patting them, reminding them like, hey, I'm not gonna hurt you. Another really good way to tame a horse and get it to calm down and become more friendly is going to be feeding it. Because that's going to build a bond. Come on. There we go. And this typically takes about as much time as it's going to get the horse and tame it and get it all the way to a stable. But here's how the horse taming is going to work. So horses. How do horses work? Well, normal, fully tamed horses will generally follow a set path. Or at least the path that it is on right now. But as you tame horses, they're going to deviate because they're angry, because they're offended that you are trying to tame them. That you would take any mild amount of interest in them. Oh, crap. It is quite a bit away. No, where are you going? Alright. Keep going here. Do that. You just want to do that every so often. And every time you see those little pink sparkles come off of it. Which means it is a bonding moment. So you just want to, hit L every so often. To, where are we going? Stop! Where are we going? Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy, bro. Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, so this is also tied to something really cool. I'm gonna just go slowly because this horse is extremely sporadic and I do not trust it. That's why. Okay. Because there's holes in the bridge. Yeah, so every time you do this, it'll start taming it slowly. Feeding it apples, I believe it's like the best ones, or carrots, is going to be another really big one. Alright, here we go. Much further. Take a left coming up here. Okay. And this is the first big thing I wanted to do in this episode. Outside the shrines. We're kind of just... Yeah, come on. You're okay. Yeah. Yeah. And you're not special, alright? We're all angry and rowdy and whatever, you know? Someone just jumped on me and tried to tame me, I'd be just upset too. You're not special. Alright, come on. There we go. Do that. Enough. Relax, you're not special. Dang, that's crazy. Got him! Oh, your rewards. Got my reward right here. The friends we made along the way. Okay, so it's just a straight shot all the way down this path. Okay. So,
Urbosa's fury is ready.
To fully, register a horse, you're going to need to bring it to a sit. Relax. You are fine. To fully tame a horse, you're gonna need to bring it to a stable. And you can register the horse at said stable. But there's, a hidden feature within horses. Again, I don't typically use horses. Because, again, that kind of goes out of the way. And then, a lot of stuff later game becomes obsolete. And you don't really need horses. They're really good for early game. Just in case you're not, too familiar with speedrunning tech. They're really good. Sorry. They're really good for early game. But when you get out of early, when you get into, halfway through your journey and onwards, horses become, a lot more obsolete. So you don't really need them. But I wanted to do this in this playthrough. Just so I would have, to say that we did it. Because this is one of the two special horses outside of just monster horses. If you remember the thing we saw up all the way up on the mountain, on top of Satori Mountain, you can bring that to a stable. But they freak out because it's the Lord of the Mountain, or it's you can't tame that, it's the Lord of the Mountain, it's special. You could also bring a skeleton horse to a stable, but you can't register it because it's a skeleton horse. You could ride deer, you could ride bears. Yeah, that's crazy. We're strolling up to a freaking stable with a riding on a bear. There's Beetle right there. I'll go talk to him. I don't think I have anything as of right now that like worthy of selling. No. Okay. So come up this way, so we can do the process. And yeah, so last couple things I want to do, bring it down to a slow crawl. For the most part, it's very much tamed at this point. So where are we going? Yeah, turn that way. Where are we going? Turn. Back to you. We'll come to stable. All horse releases. Haven't seen your face before. Yes, I do. Let's start over. We'll to our stable. Yeah, so basically, you bring a wild horse. You can tame. You can register it. Stay for rest. You can go on the other side. I'm gonna register a horse. Gotcha. You sure this is the one? Yes. So right here. Horses have stats. They can have different natures. They'll have different stats. You can also have your bond. Yeah. So I'm going to name. I'm going to name this horse. Kind of obvious. And name it Zelda. Yeah. Registration complete. Yeah, we're gonna take the horse. Next time, and there we go. You can get the special thing. So, really good thing to do with the horse. Again, it's just a small touch, small bonding moment. You can hold an apple to your horse, and come on. Yeah, you know you want it. Yeah, come on. Come on. Yeah. No, you just want. Oh, yeah, you're real rebellious, aren't you? There we go. Another one. Yeah, so this is all gonna help pretty much cap off your the horse you have with the bond you have with your horse. All right, there you go. Enjoy you that carrot. All right, so back to you. We're going to board the horse. Board Zelda, and they're gonna, you know, they're gonna take care of your horse. Let's say goodbye. There's a special quest that will let you get the royal outfit for your horse. And it is actually tied to this specific horse. So you have to tame it. So the second one we're gonna go do is over this way. Now, this one I'm a bit more worried about because this is a tough horse. This one's tough. And this one I've actually only ever tamed once. And this was on my very ever first playthrough because I actually just stumbled upon it. I was like, oh, this is cool. And then I just remembered it because it was like super cool. And I was like, oh, if I ever do a let's play of this game, I'll come back and do this later and, you know, tame it again. So, having anything stealth is going to be your best friend. Horses will typically scare easily. Ooh. Oh, I just started repaired. There we go. Just do that so I can stay warm. Just make sure. Yeah, okay. We come down, and there it is. So, you're gonna notice a horse, a lot bigger than the rest. And it's exactly what we're looking for. So, this horse is special. Much like Zelda's horse. Link's horse does exist in this game. I'm gonna try to wait for you to, maybe move away from the pack. Oh. It's gonna be a bit of a risky run, but... Actually, you know what? I'm gonna need Lionel parts, and... I want to be able to get the Dark Link outfit. So, you know what? And I'm gonna have to run by them anyway. So, we're gonna go over, we're gonna come back for this horse. Because I want to come over this way, and we are going to go, that is raining in this region. Go. approaching. Yeah, so any Lionel outside of the one on Playmas Mountain, I do not taking any chances. I hate any electric enemies. Are going to be based on all enemies in the game are based on an EXP system. Every enemy has its own EXP system. Even if you get all the way up to where we are now, pretty much at the end game here, that doesn't matter. Oh, Jesus. Okay, hold up. Yeah, get away. Yep, and away we go. He's gonna forget about us, and we're gonna go fight these Lionels. So, Lionels behave the same way. So interesting fact about Lionels. They are not considered mini-bosses. I've seen a lot of guides will say, like... What am I using? Oh, crap. A lot of guides will say that Lionels are, like, considered a mini-boss. They're not. Lionels are, just really strong enemies. So, yeah. They don't get the cool mini-boss status. So, Lionels will behave just about the same. Oh, no. Behave the same like every other enemy, except for, like, no, High Noxus share the same property, but that's a mini-boss. Except for Taluses, that's what I'm thinking of. Oh, no. Alright, this way. There we go. Dodge that. Awesome. So every time you fight a Lionel, enemies will give a certain amount of XP. There we go. Lionels will give a certain amount of XP when you kill them. And that XP will level them up in the wild, so when they respawn, I believe it'll up them to where they will become a white main Lionel, and then it'll become a silver Lionel. Silver Lionels are the toughest enemies you're going to find, at least have basic enemies. Ooh, Lionel Guts, that's huge. Lionel Bow, yeah, I'm gonna need those. Lionel Crushers, yeah, Lionel Spears. I don't like Spears anyway. Alright, well, that's the first one down. I'm not sure exactly how, like, how much, like, certain XP any enemy will give on a certain, after a certain battle. I would say that Lionels give pretty much the guaranteed most amount. Considering that they are some of the strongest enemies in the game. Don't quote me on that, because Zolfo said no, it's like one of the ones that takes such a long time for them to become silver enemies. But Goblins are the easiest because they're the simplest enemies. You're gonna fight a lot of them. I know Moblins are a bit of a tougher one as well. I don't think it takes too long for Lionels to become. Not you. Alright, here we go. Second fight. Use anything? Oh, you got a crusher. Okay. This is one of the weapons I was talking about before. Hold that. So, Lionel Crushers are one of the weapons tall enough to be able to activate the one shrine where you need the ice block for. There we go. Dodge that. There we go. So interesting thing about Lionels. They were intended to have their own horn, which goes unused in the files. There we go. Jeez. They were meant to have their own, sort of horn. It goes unused in the, files, which actually is going to make it... Ow! That's the first time I've ever gotten hit out of a freaking... out of a flurry rush. My man just absolutely canceled my whole attack. There we go. One thing to do with Lionels, get a combo going, and then go into the mount part. I missed? Oh no. And it's a good thing to do as well. Cool combat technique. So when you parry, get a perfect parry, crouch, because it'll immediately, you know, hit out of the special animation for it. And so you're gonna be able to just go straight into being able to attack an enemy while it's stunned. So a good tip for you right there. At least in terms of combat techniques. Alright, we're going to put this back on. We shouldn't have to worry about Lionel's on the way there. It's a very short journey. Probably should have healed with an extra stamina thing, but we'll worry about that when we get to it. But for right now, we're going to fly back over this way. And do this. That, and there we go. Ow! I'll be able to do it now. Jesus. Alright. Try that again. Do that. Oh. I didn't realize the bomb was so close enough for that to go off. Oh, okay. Understandable. Try it again. And there we go. A good tip for the big horse is to land on it. Is one thing that they say that you could do. If it just makes it just slightly easier. Because again, doing the stealth option is going to be tricky. So, go ball time, and there we go. Trying to conserve as much energy as possible. So yeah, you could just see how big it is. So unless you're a really good button masher, this is going to be tough. This is not an easy horse to tame. So as long as it doesn't see you or the other horses don't get spooked, I'm ready with a button. Here we go. So we got the big one. Yeah, so this horse is very reminiscent of Ganon. So this horse has very special properties. This horse has infinite stamina. But it's a catch-21 because it's not very fast. You're not going to be really doing a whole lot of speed with it, but this is a very special horse. It's only exclusive in this area, so if you mess up, I don't know if it's a permanent loss. I'm not sure if a Blood Moon will revive it. Because this is a static spawn. Like, this is the only spot in the game that this horse will spawn. So trying not to choke here. I don't want this thing to get upset, kick me off, and then... You're okay. There we go. Kick me off, and then, you know, I lose the horse, and then it's a whole thing again. We're running towards a wall. Horse, what are we doing? There we go. Yeah, so this horse has infinite stamina. Oh yeah, any like enemies like that are just running away from you. They see the big horse and they're not gonna challenge it. The only thing that's gonna really challenge you is Keys, and Keys are stupid. Keys are big stupid. Yeah, just look how big this horse is compared to Link. It is such a big horse. But yeah, so similar to how we named the other horse Zelda, which was her horse, we're gonna name this one Ganon because it's cool, and it deserves a cool name. All right, and yeah, relax yourself. Jesus, you're fine. No, oh, he's angry. Need some bonding time. Come on, you're fine. Guess we're gonna have to cross this. We're gonna take a left here. Yeah, and I don't believe there's any other horses like this in the game. I believe these two are the only special horses in the game. Yeah. We're all angry too. It's okay. This on. There we go. Yeah, look how like cooler my horse is compared to yours. Yeah, look at that. I tower over you. Yeah, cool, right? I know, it's awesome. My horse, it's cool. Trying to remember. Okay, so just continue on this and then we'll find the path. Easy, said, and done. I'm not sure if the horse will be like fully tamed. by the time we get over there, but maybe it will be. Maybe this one's just a lot easier. Oh, there's Feroce. Bah. I'm not sure 100% if oh, what is it? If Epona is a findable horse, because Epona is one of the amiibo exclusive like things that you get from the amiibo. So I'm not 100% sure. You guys are just really just camping near this enemy base. I guess I'll commend you for that. Anyway, I'm going to go this way. Yeah, I know you're angry. Yeah, I know. I know, I'm angry too. Your hair is sticking straight up. Kinda weird, dude. Yeah, I know. Please keep us away from the cliff. Alright. A little bit further. Just to follow the path for a while and then take a left at the first available turn. That's not this one. Why is there a path down that way? What the hell? Maybe still lead to one of the shrines. I don't know. Alright. Yeah, so I was right about, like, the guardian types. I mean, to be fair, like, in the one shrine, I just took a picture of all the guardians. Just so I would have it. I believe it was the scout, the propeller, and then the stalker. I don't think the sentry actually had... I don't think you actually had to take a picture of the sentry. Alright. There we go. Yeah, please run. Oh, yeah, he's angry. He's angry. There we go. I'm just gonna mash it, just so the horse will stay running. Because this thing is slower than death. Yep, so this way. There's the stable. Yeah, this horse isn't very fast. Yeah. I'm also very angry. Yeah, I would be too, bud. Alright. And here we are. We have to slow down. And talk to you. New Steve, would you like to register it? Gotcha. New horse? Wow, actually. It's not that bad. Yeah, its speed is stupidly slow, and it's infinite stamina. Super strong. 81, that's actually not that bad. Registration, yeah. And enter name. Alright, oh, there we go. And name it Ganon. Are you sure you want to name this horse Ganon? Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna take the horse. You will see it next time. And there we go. Look at Ganon. Absolutely popping, bro. There we go. I'm going to feed it. I try to remember exactly all these things that horses can eat. I want to say they can eat mushrooms. Do you want to eat a mushroom? Here. No? Oh, that's pretty understandable. Is it a berry? No. Maybe not. Yeah, I want to eat that. Okay. I guess, yeah. I guess I'll eat that game. Even though it was me who put it in. You eat the acorn? No? You only want to eat apples? That's understandable. I think there's a couple around here. Nah, I know some places they can just get free ones. Alright. There we go. Stable, I'm on a board horse. You want to board Ganon? Absolutely. We'll put Ganon right in. Alright. Not the beetle. What are the chances? I don't think I have anything to sell. Thanks, computer. I wanted to know that gaming services just got updated. Yeah, I absolutely wanted to know that. Thank you. I don't know what I would have done without it. God bless. Alright. I think with that, ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna do it for today's episode. So, if you guys like what you saw... What? Okay. If you guys like what you saw, click the like button and subscribe to the channel. Next time on Breath of the Wild, we're gonna be heading back to the, actually, one more thing. Actually, one last little tiny, little bitty, itty bitty quick thing. We just realized it. I was like, oh, should probably just do this. Oh, just broad daylight. Oh. Now you can just sit by a campfire. That's fine. We're gonna be heading back to the Trial of the Sword. Now at full maximum capacity on health. Couple over here. I'll snag that. No, 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 no. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I used my air to turn it to nighttime. But yeah, we're gonna be heading back to the Trial of the Sword. We're gonna be doing the middle trials. And then after that, we're gonna be doing the final trials, and that should be it for DLC 1. I don't think there's any more DLC outfits available in the game. Or at least, you know, ones that I haven't collected yet. Because I believe we've collected everything. At least all of them. Sleep until night. Yeah, it's well in the morning. Yeah, I was gonna have to sleep. Huge rip. But that's fine. It's fine. Because we are gonna head back over here to Kilton. And we're going to visit his shop. At least for this episode. I might... I thought it was a blood moon. I'll do some off-screen grinding and defeat some enemies. Because I want to be able to get the rest of the stuff that I need. Okay, so I'm gonna say Lionel sells the best. I'm also gonna just be doing like a lot more like off-screen grinding. Because this is gonna take a while. Yeah, 100. Alright. It's not too bad. It's progress. Probably end up getting the Dark Link outfit first. Which I'm pretty sure. Plus that, plus that, plus that. Yeah, like 4,000. Yeah. I'm gonna still need like an absolute metric dick ton, but that's fine. Alright. That's a pretty good place to end it off for today. So, thank you guys so much for watching this episode. This was a long one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. That's all the shrines done. There's nothing left for us to do. But head back to back to Korok Forest and begin the Trial of the Sword, alright? Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys then.